From not wanting to be associated with such a terrible team, to this being the right time from a financial perspective. This is why Michael Jordan wants to sell the Charlotte Hornets. It looks like Jordan has had enough stress of being the owner of this team. It's no secret that the Charlotte Hornets have struggled big time under the ownership of the six-time NBA champ. They weren't even close to being the team they once were. I mean, yes, they've never won an NBA title or they've ever dominated the league, but still, they weren't as bad before. They had a pretty decent start to their journey when the franchise was found, but then the Hornets struggled to find any sort of consistency on the court. Just listen to this. Since Jordan took control of the team, they've only appeared in the postseason 2 times. Now that's bad. The last time they made it to the postseason was back in 2016. Plus, they've had 5 different head coaches since Michael became the owner. I mean, the team clearly didn't have a great time under his ownership. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Kemba Walker was doing great for the team and they couldn't keep him. And on top of that, the Hornets missed out on numerous draft prospects.
Great opportunity for me, different journey. And I'm just excited. I'm super happy, man. Yeah.
Although in 2020 it looked like the team's fate was going to change after they drafted LaMelo Ball. After all, he was even named the Rookie of the Year. He also managed to be named an All-Star in only his second season with the franchise. But injuries struck and ended Ball's season back in February, and the Hornets were back to square one. The struggles are one of the major reasons why he's considering a sale. Plus, it might not be a very bad idea to sell, cause the timing is right. I think it makes complete sense that he's ready to sell. The valuation of all teams has skyrocketed in the recent years. And I'm not just talking about NBA, I'm talking about every other sport as well. Also, this is pretty much the way team owners make most of their money. It's not from the revenue and cash flow that comes in from the day-to-day, but it's from the value of the franchise. So, the situation for Jordan's simple. He's cashing out at a time when his team's valuation is at an all-time high. And who's to say that the value of the Hornets will go up from here?
I wasn't really into professional sports because where I grew up, you only had like 2 television stations.
If you think from the perspective of Jordan, it's the right call to make. Remember when the Phoenix Suns transaction was finalized about a month ago? The franchise was sold for a whopping $4 billion. I think you could really see the writing on the wall that now is a great time to sell. Michael paid about $275 million forward for the team, and if he could get anything close to $2 billion, which reportedly he's getting, then I think it's a pretty great deal. For a team that has struggled for almost 13 years and still be worth that much, it's stunning. And if you think about it, Jordan would be making 7 times what he paid for the team back in 2010. I mean, it isn't that bad after all. There aren't many investments in life that pay that kind of return. And off the court, things aren't that bad for them.
Years, because initially in basketball, I was so focused in my craft that's what matters the most.
There are still many things that are going in the team's favor. If you step out from the court for a minute and look at the Hornets as a business, then things haven't been that bad for them. If you take their arena, Spectrum Center for example, even though the Hornets don't own it, I mean it still is a very good facility as far as the NBA facilities go. And apart from basketball, there are a lot of events going on there throughout the year. Plus, after the sale, all the upgrades are going to be taken care of by the city. And there's also a new training facility being built right across the street. All this is playing a huge role in why the Hornets are worth that much money, even after being so inconsistent on the court. So, with the new training facility and all the events that are being held at the arena, the new owners might be in for a pretty good deal.
Just keep shooting. Shoot till your arms fall off. Miss, shoot the next one, probably gonna go in. And if it don't, hopefully the next one do.
This brings me to my next point. Who are these new owners? Well, the potential new owners aren't complete strangers. The new buyer's actually someone who already owns a minority stake in the team. It's Gabe Plotkin, and he's being joined by the Atlanta Hawks minority owner Rick Schnall. Let me clear one thing up right now. As of yet, there isn't any official agreement between the two parties, and none of them have announced that a sale's going through, but it's still been reported by some of the NBA's most credible reporters, so there's definitely something going on. Both parties are surely trying to reach some sort of agreement, and right now, no one knows how long it's gonna take. But if this deal happens, Jordan will walk away with just over $1.5 billion in his bank account. That is a huge amount of money, as I mentioned earlier.
I'm glad that I was a part of it, but I think that it will continually get bigger because of the passion of the game of basketball.
Michael will leave all the reconstruction of the team to the owners and walk away with the money. Plotkin and Schnall are doing everything in their power to get a deal over the line. They dream of co-owning the franchise and bringing it back to the place it once was in the 90s. Will this new ownership be any good for the franchise? Only time will tell. That's a topic for another day. But as of yet, Jordan's struggles and the amount of return he's getting on his investment are pretty much the only reasons why Michael's willing to sell. Also, I've got some good news for Jordan and the Charlotte Hornets fans. Michael Jordan will still be a minority stakes owner in the team. I know he won't be calling the shots anymore. Jordan won't be the main guy anymore.
Understand, their motivations. You had to understand that when I started with the Bulls.
But if it makes the fans feel any better, the great Michael Jordan will still be a part of the team. Yeah, it's obvious that fans won't see him as the face of the team anymore. Though that'll make things a bit worse for the Hornets because they'll get way less attention now. Jordan won't be so much invested in the games as he was before. You've all seen him sitting at the courtside, always concerned about the team's results. And most of the time he was frustrated about how the team was performing. Jordan paid a staggering $275 million in 2019 to acquire a majority stake in the team.
This is Chrysler, Plymouth, and we would drive all over North Carolina, South Carolina, and go watch.
It's exactly the one he's trying to sell today. It means only one thing. Michael Jordan has had enough. But what does it mean for the NBA? I think the NBA has a lot to lose. Jordan's arguably the greatest player on the planet. Plus, he's the first and only black owner of any team in the NBA's long history. Surely the league wouldn't like to lose that, and in my opinion, this is probably worse news for the NBA than it is for the Charlotte Hornets.
Paris is all about fashion, and we see Jordan Brand as a leisure wear lifestyle brand, so the relationship was very, very easy.
So, at the league level, there might be some concerns about this. NBA loses a lot with Jordan's departure. While, on the other hand, Jordan doesn't lose a thing. He's actually putting a huge weight off his shoulders. And on top of that, he's making more money than most fans can even imagine. So in the end, it's a win-win situation for Michael. That's all from me on the real reason why Jordan wants to sell the Hornets. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.